What's going on, guys? Welcome to Grub's Kitchen. My girlfriend bought me a wok. She knew we was about to have Asian everything for the next week, so here we are. I'm gonna make chicken and shrimp stir fry. It's gonna be in a brown garlic sauce, and I'm also going to add some broccoli in there, probably a little bit of hoisin, make it very umami. So stick with me, and we're gonna show you a beautiful stir fry in a nice authentic wok that my girlfriend got me for Valentine's Day, guys. It's gonna be dope. So I have a bunch of use first vegetables. What are use first vegetables? Things that are in my fridge that are going to go bad or have been in there the longest. Not necessarily bad, but they need to get used before they go bad and have been wasted. So like any stir fry, start off with some beautiful peppers. I have a red pepper, green pepper. I'm gonna do some carrots, a little bit of jalapeno for spice. And as I said, some broccoli. I have some collard greens in the fridge as well, which act just like cabbage. So I'm gonna throw those in there as well at the very end, give it a nice little crunch. But for now, I'm gonna cut down some peppers. I'm gonna take these ends off so I can make this guy square, all right? I'm still gonna use those pieces, but just to make it easier for me. So I'm gonna trim up this pepper. Get all those white pieces from the inside, from the seeds, how the seeds are attached. Those parts are bitter. And we only want the most flavorful parts of the veg. So I'm gonna trim that up. Then after I trim that up, I'm just gonna simply julienne it. Julienne is a thin strip. All right, for you guys that don't know the lingo, I'll keep throwing the lingo out there for you. So on a julienne, I'm just cutting nice thin strips. And in each stir fry, you want all of your veg to be uniform. And what uniform means is cut the same way, so they cook down evenly, okay? So that's my red pepper. That's the green pepper. Go in and do the same thing that I did to the red pepper. Trim up those bitter white parts on the inside and square it up. And go ahead and cut those strips. I love a good stir fry. I love all Asian food, but stir fry is just so flavorful. Keeps the crunch of the vegetable. It's a quick dish. It's a one-pan dish. Easy to clean up. Come on. It's a bachelor's dream because it's nice and flavorful. You can make it really fast, right? Less cleanup. You don't need much to put into it to make it flavorful. Just one of those iconic dishes that just doesn't lose flavor and just doesn't lose favoritism over time, right? I love good Asian food. So I'm gonna add a little bit more green pepper here. Trim that right up. Square it up. Again, see me putting those pieces to the side. I'm still gonna use those pieces probably in a stock, something like that. Probably in my eggs tomorrow morning, something like that, right? Go ahead and julienne the rest of this green pepper. Like I said, you want your cuts to be even. So this all cooks down at the same time. You don't have one piece that's more tender and one piece that's more crunchy than the other. All right, and I'm making this for me and my girlfriend, so this is not just a one-person dish, and we like leftovers, so I always make a little extra. In the morning, she gets up earlier than me. She could just wake up, pop this in the oven or in a saute it up one time, bring it back. I love beer. I'm in my house, I'm not cooking for a client, so I'm gonna drink me up a beer, because like Auntie Tabitha said, that's my business. Also gonna add some onion to this, right? Same thing. I'm julienning everything. Everything is julienne. It's gonna give it a nice aesthetic. And it's also gonna keep those flavors even, like I was talking about, right? Just gonna come across, cut this right across. I've cut the ends off, both ends, peeled it, and I just come right across. Give me some nice julienne strips of onion. And when I get halfway, I turn that over. That keeps the onion cut even. Alright, so we got red pepper, green pepper, white onion, yellow onion, really. I'm gonna add some jalapeno. Now, depending on your heat tolerance or whatever it is, this jalapeno is optional. I like a little spice. Actually, I like a lot of spice, especially in the wintertime. Because if you didn't know, here's a Chef Carter fun fact. When you eat spices, your body sweats and also releases more toxins when you sweat. That's why working out, you want to bust a sweat, right? So there's a fun fact. In the wintertime, get your spices in, guys. It's actually healthy for you. All right, so I'm not going to use all of this jalapeno because it is pretty spicy. I had a bit of it earlier. Came from the same batch, so I'm going to say they're pretty much the same heat level, right? You want to wear gloves while you're doing this, just out of not wanting to touch your eye or your lips or anything like that, setting yourself on fire. Much worse, touch your genital or anything like that and then be on fire for real. But I'm pretty good with, keeping my hands washed in between cutting veg. So I'm going to do the same thing with this guy. I'm going to square it up. I'm going to julienne him. Not using much of this guy. He's just there. Pack a little punch. Alright. Now I have a carrot I'm going to add. Because what's a good stir fry without a carrot? And this is me really emptying my veg drawer of vegetables that are not just sitting there, but okay, maybe they got about 2 or 3 more days and I don't want them to get mushy or anything like that and have to throw them away. You spent your money on it, right? So you're going to get every drop out of your fridge. I'm going to peel this carrot. Nice and peeled. Alright, the longest part of this stir fry is actually all the prep. So depending on how fast you are with prep is how fast you get that meal done, right? So for me, I actually enjoy prep because that's where most of the flavor comes in at. Just those components that you can't skip. Carrots are good for you guys. Alright, so I'm gonna cut this carrot in half, lengthwise, right? And then, because I want strips like that, you could do this with a mandolin. It's way easier if you're not comfortable with a knife, like I am. Grab yourself a mandolin, make sure you have a guard on it, slice it right through. Adjust the mandolin to your desired thickness. Slice it right through. It's so easy, guys. But I'm going to cut this down with my knife. Being very careful. Alright? So I'm going to cut it slits like that. I'm going to go across and julienne it. Do this a couple more times. Alright? And one more time on that guy. That's my homegirl, Amazing Ash, playing in the background. Y'all can find her on all musical platforms. Amazing with a apostrophe and a dash. Right? So, like I said, After I cut those in the slits, I'm gonna go across and julienne it. Same way we did the peppers. You guys see when I'm cutting, I got my thumb tucked in, right? It's called the cradle. Protects your thumb. Makes it very hard to cut yourself. So, have some nice carrot sticks there. Not too thin. Almost transparent, but, you know what I mean? And cook this down. It'll still have a crunch to it. Working the whip. Alright, we got carrots. I actually really like carrots. One of my favorite veg. Okay, cool. So now, got your veg cut down. Cut down some garlic. I always use fresh garlic. They do sell garlic in the can. In my opinion, everything is better when it's fresher. So I'm gonna do maybe like 10 garlic cloves. And then there's a little piece of root there. I'm gonna clean that up. Cutting that off, only cutting that off because I want to use this whole piece of garlic. Less waste as possible. As you guys get to know me through the series, waste is something that I absolutely hate. Less waste, less hunger. Now, how I'm gonna cut this garlic down? Smash it with the back of my knife. Be careful. Garlic is slippery. Smash it down with the back of my knife. Be very careful. I'm gonna just come across. See, I'm always protecting my thumb, guys. As experienced as I am, a thumb cut is just not fun. Soon I'll transfer these veg to a different bowl. Space reasons. Actually, let's do that now. It's info. Put those all in the same bowl because they're gonna all go down into the pan together, into the wok together, sorry. It's a really quick preparation. Like I said, the entire cooking time of this dish is all in cutting the veg. It comes together really quickly and it's an extra tasty meal. Gotta run through it once. I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna gather it again. I'm gonna run through it again. I'm gonna keep running through it until it's as small as I want it. Treat this like a mezzaluna. A mezzaluna is a double-sided, double-handled knife that you cut pizza with. Treat it like a mezzaluna. Fresh garlic, nice and sweet. Just adds a character that's unmatched to that Asian style dish. I don't think there are too many Asian style dishes that don't have garlic. It's a really big staple. Alright, this is looking like right around where I want it. And then I'm gonna go in and just free up those loose broccoli, those loose florets on the end, on the outsides. Then there's gonna be more stem to trim. Depending on the size of these guys, I may just trim them up in half or 2 or 3 parts, depending on the size. Again, you want all this to cook evenly. So like this guy, I'm gonna cut to a quarter. Okay, so just like veggies are essential to a stir fry, any Asian dish, in my opinion, needs a little bit of ginger, especially a stir fry. So I got a little knob of ginger here. I'm just gonna trim the ends. It's easier to peel garlic with a spoon than anything else. I'll show you guys that trick at a later time. All right. So I'm just gonna cut this to slivers. I'm going to essentially brunoise. Brunoise is just a small cubed cut. Cut that in strips. Then in those strips, I'm going to cut them into little squares. The musical stylings of Jay Prezi, the one and only in the background. I can also find him on any media music platform. Ginger packs a lot of flavor, so you don't need much ginger in any dish, really. But okay, so the only thing left for us to do now is slice down this chicken into thin strips. Again, everything gets cut down evenly. All right. This chicken is still just slightly frozen in the center. It's gonna help me cut it. Again, like I said, this dinner is for 2 people. Me and my girlfriend, plus a little extra. So I'm gonna use all this chicken. So we have a little extra for tomorrow. Freeze it, you can do whatever you like to it. You know, just keep it around because it was so yummy, you had to have it again. And this chicken breast was sourced through ButcherBox, which is a service that I like to use. They have some really high quality cuts, deliver it right to your door. It takes the guesswork out of a lot. It's $150 for the subscription monthly, and you can choose some really good cuts of beef, pork, chicken, seafood. They do lobster tails, so it's a really good program that I started using recently. All right, so I have my chicken cut. And I'm gonna start putting this together, guys. Rinse this knife, transfer this chicken back over this bowl, get rid of this cutting board. Anytime you're working with salmonella, guys, be sure to keep cleanly. So how we're gonna start this, guys, is we're gonna make our sauce first, right? So all the veg and everything are gonna cook down in that nice garlic sauce, okay? So it is a half a cup of soy sauce. I have a teaspoon and a half of sambal chili and 2 teaspoons of rice wine vinegar. These are the garlic cloves that we minced earlier, 10 garlic cloves. Here's 1 cup chicken stock. This is 2 teaspoons of cornstarch and 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. All right, I'm also adding shrimp to this mixture. So I'm gonna go with that soy sauce, sambal, rice wine vinegar down. So we have our soy sauce down. Add in your garlic. Just added in our chicken broth, which is house made, by the way. Made it about a week ago. So now everything that we have in here, guys: soy sauce, ginger, garlic, brown sugar, cornstarch, rice wine vinegar, hoisin, right? Let that come together till it starts to thicken a bit. And I'm gonna drop all of our veg right down in there. All right? That's the best part of the wok, right? It's easy to flip. So I'm gonna let that cook down. We keep that on high heat the entire time. That's the reason why we call it stir fry. So on high heat, you gotta keep flipping it, and whisking it, and wocking it, right? Get that combined together nicely. So if you guys look at that, it's beautiful. Lots of good colors. It's healthy. It's veggie. It's a stir fry. It's everything that's beautiful about Asian food, guys. Honestly, everything that's good in the world starts with a stir fry. Right? So like I said, we'll let that cook down a bit. Then I'm gonna add in my chicken. When I add in the chicken, I'm gonna cover this so that chicken can cook. So yummy. I could go for a little bit more brown sugar. The most important part of any cooking, guys, is the tasting. Gotta taste your creations while you're making them. Because when you get to the end of it, it's too late. It's too late to compromise the flavor. Maybe add in something you may have missed. It's too late at the end. That's why you always flavor in stages. Right? Everything that's good in the world. Now remember, we're gonna add some collard greens to this, right? I'm gonna cook that down. Let that cook down. I'm about to add my chicken in there. Then add the shrimp. Then we're gonna add some collard greens, right? Now what I'm doing right here is just placing the chicken in a certain kind of way to where it's just covering the top of everything. Then I'm gonna salt it, lightly salt it. And kind of let it steam on top of those veg. Just gonna lightly salt and pepper that chicken. Let that cook down. Actually, let me let you guys see it, what that looks like, right? So I just layered that on top there. And I'm gonna let that steam, let that chicken steam. And when I take it off, the chicken will be done. I'll add the shrimp in there. And then we'll add some collards, nice little crunch, quick, boom. Unless it's a specific, I can't even think of what would be a reason I would use something that's not fresh, honestly. Tried to think about it in my head just now, couldn't come up with anything. These are fresh collards I sourced from my local supermarket. I'm in Bed-Stuy, so you can imagine that market goes through quite a bit of collards a week, right? So it's very rare I go there. Add a little bit more cornstarch to this to thicken the sauce up. But it tastes so good, guys. God. Could take a touch more salt, but I'm gonna do that after. Alright, that's where I want it. Shrimp's going in. Now the shrimp, when I had my shrimp sitting on the side, I used a little bit of salt in the water that I had it frosting in, so the shrimp could take on some salt. I don't want to salt it too much inside of this pan because the soy sauce, the hoisin, the rice wine vinegar already pack a bunch of sodium. So I try to be less sodium forward when I'm cooking, more flavor packed.